Welcome to the Launching Another Activity from Event from Scratch video. In this video, we'll create a menu type application that will launch another activity from an event. The event will be button click. What I'm going to do is to launch live where. This is actually in Chapter 1 of Android in Action. It's on page 27 through 29. Go ahead and follow through the code there. The most difficult thing of this app is the intent, actually, that's on page 27 because it has a few pairs of French braces, and it is involved in a try-catch exception handling. One more thing before we get into the main menu activity. If you look closely at the live where activity layout, you'll notice a couple things. It has a button. There's no let's go ahead and modify this button text that says something like find your house or launch maps, and we'll change this, and then let's add another button here that actually quits this application. So if you haven't already coded up the live where application from chapter 1, go ahead and do that. It should take you about half hour, 45 minutes at the most. So let's go ahead and change from button text. We'll put this into a strings.xml, and we'll call this map button. So we need an entry in strings.xml. So what we'll see on the button now will be find your house. Let's go ahead and run that. Oh, and we need to add one more button that will quit the activity. So we'll drag this button into our layout. One more time. If you're stuck there, we can just add it from main.xml. We'll make the text here a zero-length string, just a space, and we'll just add a button. So its ID will be button 02 and quit. We need an entry in strings. And text on that button will be quit. So presently our layout looks like this. And this does work, by the way. Now let's find this address. And sure enough, don't know why psychiatric directory. Probably too much Android programming. We'll get you to the psychiatrist. Anyway, it's a real map application. So what we need to do is to write some code to make that button live, our quit button live. So we do that in our Java file. livewhere.java. So we'll name this btn quit, and remember our ID reference was 02. So to set the on-click listener, use code complete, set on-click listener, and we can just copy this. Copy this. And finish. And that's it. Make sure our French braces line up. We do our search. Find our location. Use the back button. Click the quit and quit. Alright, so what we want to do is we're going to create a new activity, basically 3 steps to launch an activity from an event. We need to, of course, declare an intent that points to the activity that we want to launch. Then we call start activity on that intent, and then we modify our Android manifest to make sure that the additional activities in the Android manifest are properly set up. So it's not a bad time now to actually check the reference on intents, and you'll find quite a reference. Notice how to import an intent. It's an android.content.intent. Android is all about intents. Basically, chapters 3 and 4 of our textbook are about intents. This is what an intent does. I think one of the team teaching exercises this week is to differentiate between explicit intents and implicit intents. We will be examining the Android manifest XML file, and notice these 2 keywords, main and launcher. There can only be one intent filter that has main and launcher, so the operating system knows where to start. Remember, what is an intent? An intent is saying I need. What is an intent filter? An intent filter is saying I have. And here, with this class, well, let's look at Note Editor. Here, with this intent filter, all you can do is view, edit, and allow this intent to be called implicitly. That's what the default does. But it is not the entry point because there is no main in action. There's no action.main and category.launcher. Anyway, spend some time researching intents. What we're going to do in our menu activity, we're going to need all of this Java code. So let's just copy that into the clipboard right now. And now that we're done with that, we'll go ahead and close project on liveware. And here's our new project from scratch. So File, new. Obviously it's not totally from scratch because I have a whole bunch of code on the clipboard that I'm ready to paste in. My project name will be launchActivityFromEvent. We'll choose Android 2.1. The application name, this is the name that you see under the icon in your on your device, is going to be Launch Another Activity. Package name, and we're going to create a main menu. That's going to be the name of our first Java class. Here's our project, Launch Activity from Event. Here's our Java class main menu. Go to Resource, go to Layout, and main.xml. If this is the entry point, if this is the starting activity, then main.xml. I'll actually show you where those are connected. They're connected in the Android manifest.xml file. So all we need here are two buttons. We'll have a launch and a quit. We'll reference a couple strings. First string being named launch, that will appear under button and stop. So we'll give those values in a second. Let's go ahead and give these IDs, btn01 and then btn02. Alright, save that. Let's go to strings. And we need launch and stop. And we'll change the hello value to main menu. This will be launch mapit, and this will be quit. Let's take a look at that. All right, looking pretty good. So I think everyone's pretty comfortable with buttons now. The on-click event here is going to be the 3 steps that launch another activity from an event. Declare an intent that points to the activity that we want launched. That's going to be that new class that we have now sitting in the clipboard. We're going to paste that up in a second. We'll call start activity on that intent, and then we'll modify the Android manifest. So let's go ahead and do those things now. All right, let's go ahead and add a new class called mapit, and it's basically going to be that the live where activity. So to do that in Eclipse, make sure you have your package selected. You don't have to do this, it just makes it easier. And then File, New, choose Class, and you can see the package was filled in here. Source folder is fine. So the name is going to be mapit. So this will be the Java class file. Superclass. You know what? We're going to paste over this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So here's mapit. Let's just select everything. I forget if we copied the package. Oh shoot, I lost my copy. That's okay, I'll go back and copy it. Alright, no big deal. I just went back to liveware and copied the entire file and pasted it into mapit. And this has to be mapit, of course. has to be spelled exactly the same way. Now the errors here, what type of views do we have? What type of widgets do we have in here? We have an edit text and we have a button. So we need a separate file. Also, I think we already have a button ID btn01. So let's name this btn map01, and just to be consistent, we'll name this edText map because we're in map.it. Alright, so now we have to create a layout file for this. We already have main.xml that is going to be associated with our main menu that's going to be the starting activity, but this is a secondary activity, if you will. So we need a new XML file, a new layout file, and we'll name that mapit.xml, and that's where we'll handle our layout. So to create a new XML file, remember it's real important to do this using this button. File is going to be mapit, goes in layout. I clicked on finish. I don't think you can see the button. There we go. Okay, remember we had a button and we had edit text. And I thought we had a third button, a quit button, so we have to handle that as well. Okay, it looks like we have our IDs all squared away. btn map01, btn map02, edText map01. We do need to add mapit to our strings, and we need to add quit to our strings. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so we added mapit and quit, mapit now and quit. Be a good time to save and see how everything looks. Actually, we won't be able to see this activity yet. So let's take a look at mapit.java. We need to change our references. btn map02. I'm going to go ahead and run this to generate the R file. Fix any errors you can one by one. I have a stop that is unresolved, so I need to add that to strings, and that's basically going to be quit also. I should actually, why don't I just change that to quit? That would be a little more efficient. Change this stop to a quit. I had a bunch of errors from the R file not being generated, but I saved it and they finally went away. So I kept hitting clean, finally clean and run. I can actually run it now. Yep, the program's actually running now. Yep, things are looking okay now. We just have to apply our tent to this button. Well, the button's ID is button map01. Actually, that's for map. We want main, so it's going to be btn01. Yeah, btn01. So from here you can see I've got everything set up properly and I need btn01. I don't have the button class imported, so I do that now. And the error goes away. We'll use code complete for the rest. Set Quick listener. What happened to my code complete here? Set on. There we go. And this is going to be new view dot on quick listener. There we go. Nice. Good. Code complete worked nice. I just need a semicolon here. Perfect. And this is the code that we've all been waiting for. Intent, my intent, or whatever. Assignment operator. New. Intent. Constructor. This. So this is real important. It has to do with context. If you wanted to be really precise about this, no pun intended here, but this refers to the current object. So when this class is an object and it's actually running, this will refer to that. But if you want to be really precise, you could do this. Anyway, if you're having code check seems to like that. If you're having context problems, that's a tip for you. I will leave it like this. So this, and then the name of the class, which, as you remember, is called map it dot. All right, class. All right, all there is to it. Don't have intent. Do you remember what intent was? That's right, intent was a context. So context intent. There we go. And what's wrong with that? For some reason, it wanted main menu there. All right, I thought I could. If you can't, that was a good demo, I guess, unintended. But if you can't get it away with just this, then add the name of the class, and away you go. And that should do it. All right, we have declared the intent right here, and we've called the start activity. What's the last thing we need to do? Let's go ahead and run this, and I think you'll have a good idea of what we need to do. All right, here we go. Click on launch map it, and what happens? The dreaded force close. Rotate that so you can see how terrible looking it is. So why is that happening? We get no errors here. Our code seems to be okay, but what haven't we done? Here's a big clue. We have not modified the Android manifest. So we have main and launcher, but we have no mention at all of mapit, our other activity. Right? We have .main menu, but we don't have .mapit. So we need to create a new activity, and we need to change these intent filters. So really easy, just copy that activity. Control C, Control V, The app name is still the same. It's the same app. It just happens to be a different activity. But our activity is map it, right? It's right here, map it. And this has to be changed from main. There can only be one main. Let's view it. And default. This allows an implicit intent. Alright, let's go ahead and save everything after all that and run it again. Click on Launch Map It, and still not working. So let's see what else we have wrong. Oh, I think I know. The map it, what was the layout file for map it? Yep, see the layout file is main. So again, this one little error, it's hard to find, but it's just a configuration. This should be mapit.xml. So, and you don't get any other clues. So map it. Why is that still giving me an error? Let's see, I think I just have to clean it. There's no XML. There we go. Much better. Alright, let's run that. Alright, for some reason I had to stop and restart Eclipse. Let's run this again. Alright, we've been here before. Click launch. Oh, good. And we have launched our other activity. Remember, map it now and quit. So let's see if this activity is still intact. Yep, looks good. Yep, looks good. You know what? I didn't put in an address. My text box was messed up. But anyway, let's go back and see if our quit button works. And quit should do what? It should take us to the main menu.